Welcome to the Fuel Podcast, where we explore the foundations under extraordinary lives.
The Fuel Podcast is sponsored by the Christopher Schwartz team at First Choice Mortgage Advisors. NMLS ID 106583. If you're looking to purchase or refinance your mortgage, make the Christopher Schwartz team at First Choice Mortgage your first choice.
And now, here is your host, Chris Schwartz.
What's up, everybody? It's Chris Schwartz, your host of Fuel, and I am here today with our guest, Maria Quattrone. Maria, how are you?
I am fantastic, Chris. Thank you so much for having me today.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks so much for taking the time. And Maria comes to us. She is the CEO of Maria Quattrone Associates for the ReMax at Home team here in Philadelphia.
MQA.
Love it. And so I know right now, especially today, it's a beautiful day out. And, you know, we're kind of getting that spring buzz. So the real estate market's starting to pick up. I know it's a really busy time. So, you know, thank you so much for taking the time to jump on the show here. We really are lucky to have Maria. She's awesome.
My pleasure.
So
the market is heating up.
Yeah.
You should know that. Isn't the interest rates like crazy low right now?
The interest rates are crazy low. So we're feeling it. And, it's a good thing. Good
So
times.
it's a great time for our clients to refinance.
Absolutely.
Or to buy a new home, right?
Yep.
Move-up buyer or a first-time buyer entering into the marketplace. What are the rates like now?
Well, I can get myself in trouble if I start talking interest rates.
Look at this.
Low threes. But
somebody was saying they were like, I just got 2.9%.
It's there.
For the right credit, right?
Yeah,
you have to have the right
sub
credit.
3 with some scenarios.
Yeah, that's awesome. Good stuff.
So,
you see the market heating up?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely heating up, and it's probably the biggest challenge, as you know, is inventory, and we need more inventory in the market. So
yeah, absolutely. So
that's
the inventory is it's a big problem.
Yeah.
And it will continue, I believe, especially in the lower priced price points, because there is some investors over the last 10 years that came into the market, purchased as institutional investors a lot of these lower priced properties.
Right.
Whereas that stuff usually comes and trickles in. I don't believe it's going to come back to the market. So the under 250 mark in Philadelphia County is really affected by that. So right now we're at just around hovering around 3 months of inventory, which means that if no other homes came on the market today, it would take 3 months to absorb the current amount of inventory that we have, clearly making it a seller's market.
Sure. Yeah, and that's what we're seeing as well. And it pays to be on the inside track of that. And we're going to talk about, the real estate market and different things. We're going to put that aside for a second. We're going to talk about Maria.
Oh.
And I'm going to give you, first of all, and our listeners, a little background into the type of, business that you run here at ReMax at Home. And, we were poking around, trying to, get some stats here, and stumbled onto the statistic that you are the number one ReMax agent in Pennsylvania. Is that right?
It is, yes.
Okay.
Last year for 2019, 2018 as well. So,
right,
it kind of snuck up on me. I didn't at this time last year when they sent out the info, because I don't pay any attention to any of it.
Yeah.
I just work.
Yeah, right. Put your head down and go.
I was like, oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And to make it in the top. In the
11,
top
right?
20, number 17 in ReMax in the whole USA. So
so that's a lot, right? There's I don't know how many thousands of ReMax that you probably know, right?
There's about 125,000 agents in the ReMax system,
right? So
and I ranked number 76 in the USA out of all of the agents in the country. So in the top 100 of all agents in the country last year. Actually, that's 2018. 2019 will be this. It'll be the same or better because we had a better year than in 18. So
sure. So awesome. First of all, congratulations on
Thank you.
all of that.
I could not do it without my support team here.
You have
these ladies.
Awesome team, and I have to just say before we get into it, like your team just makes people feel special. And I just came in getting set up for our interview, and I totally missed it because I'm oblivious. Sometimes I'm so in my head as I'm doing things, and then I just got pulled back by Gene here, who's our producer, and he's like, dude, did you see the sign like in the front here for you? And I walked back up because when I came in, I was just kind of rushing around, get ready. And I walked back up, and there was this cool sign made just for me that said, "Welcome, Chris Schwartz." And it was like just a little touch for me, right? And it was, wow, they really cared that I'm coming here today, took the time to, do this little thing and make me feel special. And that's, I would imagine, how you're able to grow to the number 1 ReMax agent in Pennsylvania, number 17 globally, is you make people feel special. Your team goes over and above to do those little things. So I know the team probably didn't even think it was that big of a deal, just a little detail. But when you step back and look at it, it's really is a big deal. And I have to commend you and your team for all that you do to make people feel special. And even that little thing was awesome. So thank you guys.
You're welcome. We know that it's the attention to the tiny details is what makes us different and what makes any organization different. It's not, everybody expects good service, right? You should have good service in regardless of whatever industry you're in.
Yep.
Mortgage, title, home inspection. We expect good service. That's a given.
Yeah.
But what can you do to go over and above to create community? So one of the things that actually tomorrow is our first day we're doing it. I've been wanting to do this for years. And it was in the back of my mind. I said, you know what? Every first Friday, we're going to have luncheon. So if you're around 12 to 2,
Hoagies,
right? Yep, we're getting the vegetarians and the Italian hoagies and veggie because we don't want to have too many choices.
Yep.
Don't too many choices, and we know, make sure we're covering all bases. But it's something where I said, wouldn't it be great if we were just like anytime between 12 and 2, come and see us, have a hoagie. So if you have a question, stop by, ask us. If you want to, you want to meet some of the team, come by.
Yeah.
It gives an opportunity, or you're just driving through the city. Oh, I'm going to be in the city. We have a lot of clients that are investors as well. But they're always around.
Sure.
Pop in, grab a sandwich.
Yeah.
Pop in, pop out.
Yep.
It's like a monthly open house at our office just to say hi, to say hello.
If you haven't been to Maria's office, you need to come down here. For those listeners that are local, it is such a cool office. I mean, very modern, has that the name is so fitting at ReMax at home, right? Because you really feel it feels cozy in here, but there's some business going down, right? So there's
a little bit of business going down.
Yeah, so you definitely come down, to the office, whether it's tomorrow to grab a sandwich or at some point, and really just check out the office, meet the team, and what the biggest thing that I love about you is you're always putting yourself out there. And that's kind of what I want to talk about, with you do speaking engagements, you're always mentoring and trying to help people in the industry. And that is what we love to do at Fuel, is to really get to know what, the person behind the scenes, because we really kind of got into a lot of the business stuff with, I wanted to give people a background for just how much volume and the level of business that you're operating here. And then if we shift gears to say, okay, how are you able to do that? What drives you? And the kind of key question here on Fuel is, what's your fuel? Like, what drives you that you could share with our listeners to be the number 1 agent for ReMax in Pennsylvania?
So what drives me is the process. It's a process of doing it. It's a process of watching it grow. You'll say, oh, you want to make a lot of money. Yeah, money's important. Sure.
Right.
It's always better to make more than make less.
100%.
Yeah,
money makes things a little bit easier, doesn't it?
But I don't do it because of that. I do it because I am watching myself and everything, all the people around me build it.
Yep.
So it's about being part of something bigger than yourself, building something, because, what am I going to do? I'm not going to not work. Right?
Yep.
So every day the challenge is, what can I do today to move the company forward? What can I put in place today to move the company forward to make it better? And it's not about more transactions. So people produce transactions. How do I make the people better?
Right.
Whether they're support staff, which our support staff is, they're not really admin, although they handle a lot of administrative work. They're all but one are licensed agents, brokers, and they do a lot of the background work on the files to make sure that the clients have a smooth experience, and that they have not just a smooth experience, but a great experience. So, I employ them and help them grow. It's all about personal development. Like,
Sure.
What do you get up every day for? I get up to be better than the day I was before, better than I was yesterday.
Right.
And I think that's something that people don't concentrate on.
Right. Everybody gets so focused on the numbers and the transactions and, the units, right? We need more transactions, but you if you lose the people in the process, it really, you can't grow. You'll hit a wall, you'll plateau at some point if you don't really focus on the process and the bigger picture of why you're doing what you do. It can't be about the numbers or the dollars. It just, you'll hit a point. I mean, you can get it to a certain level, I think, when you focus on those things. But, especially one of the biggest things in business that I know, across my industry and the mortgage industry is turnover, right? If you're not investing in your team and giving them tools to develop and grow outside of just earning a paycheck, you'll have trouble keeping people, on your team. And that's
been there, done that.
Right. Me too. Right.
Right.
Because
a lot of failures.
We learn and grow, and what we think is important at certain stages in our life and our business. Sometimes as an entrepreneur, you find out the hard way that isn't where you should have been putting your focus. Maybe and you live and learn.
Look, let's be real. None of us woke up and said, "Oh, great, I'm going to be a leader and run the company." Right. I left my old industry of selling radio time. I was a radio ad exec.
Right.
And I got into real estate, and I was selling real estate, and then I had a team really quickly because I realized that I really wasn't good at anything except for the selling part. Right. And the paperwork and back office was,
like most,
it was for me not a good
sales,
thing.
Right?
So I immediately hired assistants, and then I had salespeople as on my team. And this was back in mid-2000s, so it was very new to have a team. Hardly anybody had a team. Mm-hmm. And people looked at me and said, like, well, who are you? Who does she think she is? She has a team? Yeah, I had a team. Because I recognized the day I walked into this industry that you can't do it by yourself.
Right.
You just can't. I mean, people do.
Sure.
I don't know that the experience for the client is really that good.
Right.
When you're doing it by yourself.
So many hours in the day.
Well, it's not just that. Here's what it comes down to, Chris. If I can be frank.
Yeah.
In a real estate transaction, there's at least 7 different jobs.
Right.
7 different positions.
Sure.
How many are you good at?
Right. Yeah.
Because I'm only good at 1. I mean, maybe 2.
Yeah. Same here. On the mortgage side, and that's, I think that's a big thing for our listeners.
Could you do a transaction on the mortgage side without your team?
Absolutely not. Not even close. And it kind of goes back to that like growing piece. Like there was a point in my time where I did it all, right? We didn't have the team, and I didn't, have the.
You had a processor though, or somebody, right?
Right.
I mean, could you imagine doing it without them?
No,
it wouldn't even be possible.
It wouldn't even be possible. And I think that's a big distinction too for people to realize is it's okay to get help and to, empower other people in your business to do the things that they're best at. And for me, it was the biggest game changer in my business when I, realized, at first it was a sad day that I'm only good at like 1 or 2 things in this process. I thought I was awesome at everything. And then, really took a hard look in the mirror, and it's like, no, it's not your thing, dude. You're not good at that. but you find people, right? You find people that are good at it, and there are things in the process that, frankly, I don't enjoy, right? And I could do it, but who wants to work with somebody that's doing something that they don't enjoy, right? I mean, if you've ever been to a restaurant or been out and you can just tell it.
The cook doesn't take the order.
Right, exactly. That's a great analogy. Yeah.
Right? The doctor doesn't take the intake on the phone, would they?
Right.
Absolutely not. So we run our company and when I talk with clients, I use the example of a doctor's office because everybody understands that, right? You have the nurse who takes the information on the phone. Usually she'll pass along to the doctor. You have the person that takes the blood, the person that weighs you. I mean, there's like 4, 5, 6 people in a doctor's office. You have the billing person, the invoice. The doctor doesn't do the invoice.
Right.
Right? The doctor is there to prescribe something to you.
Right.
A regimen, a pill, in some cases, right? They're there to check you up and down. So for us, it would be like the listing, right? So here's the prescription, how to get the listing sold. This is exactly what we're going to do and how we're going to price it. And here's our strategy.
Nice.
Right?
Yeah, yep.
So that's like a good example. And here's how we're pricing it. And it's not, pricing is an art and a science, right? You have to understand everything about what pricing is, absorption rates. It's not pricing against what's active, but pricing against what's pending, and understanding where the market is going. Is it going up, down, or sideways?
Right.
And pricing accordingly. We don't live in a vacuum. So we could have priced something 2 weeks ago the right way, and 2 weeks later, it's not priced anymore because something else came up and sold for less.
Yeah.
So we don't control any of that. We only can look at the data, analyze it, look at the property and saying like, okay, so what's special about this block that's worth more on this block than it is 2 blocks away, even though it's only 2 blocks away. You really have to understand the market.
Right, you understand the market. And so you're almost like a doctor of real estate, Maria.
A doctor? You know what? I have studied and had so much coaching and training in the last 15 plus years that I guarantee you I have more than a PhD.
Right. So
I'll put money on that.
I'm not doubting it. Yeah. So we're gonna call Dr. Quattrone here of the real estate market. But outside of real estate again, at Fuel, we want to dig into like your foundation. What we talked about the experience and why you do the things you do. What else makes you tick? What do you enjoy doing outside of real estate that really gives you the energy and the fuel to push forward in the real estate game?
I would say coaching and personal development, I think, is really, really important. I have a business coach as well as a personal coach. Right. I spend, I would say, a good 15 hours, I'd say, I'm sorry, I'm not thinking. Yeah. I'd say at least 16 hours a month on that, and that doesn't include reading.
Right.
I'm a little behind on my reading. I have about like 17 books right now to read.
Nice.
Do you just keep buying them on Amazon?
Yeah.
Oh, get that. Somebody told me to get this book.
Get the book. Yeah.
I have a pile over there. Look, see the ones over there?
Yeah. No, and for me, Audible has been like a godsend because, I hear all these great books, and part of what we'll hit you with at the end ties into books. We'll come back to it, but you get all of these great books and information, and it's like, how do you get through it all? But Audible has been a great help for me. So, but yeah, I mean the coaching and the things for people that are listening, I think and it comes up a lot on Fuel, and this is a lot of our listeners are outside of our real estate and mortgage and our industry and space, and just trying to maybe entrepreneurs out there, but that coaching piece is and has been a game changer for myself. Sounds like for you, for almost anybody I know that's operating and working their business at a high level, and you really if you don't have a coach, go get one. If you can't afford one, go find a mentor. Go find somebody in whatever it is that you want to do that will share, their knowledge. And, a lot of, frankly, the reason I pay for coaching and have for so many years is it is painful as an entrepreneur to, try things that don't work, to hit a brick wall. So I want to minimize that pain. If somebody knows how to do it and I can connect with them, then let's do that instead of me running into a brick wall, finding out that that wasn't the way to do it. So for people that are listening, go out there, whatever industry you're in, get yourself set up with a coach, a mentor, and if it's in your physical life and you need to make some changes there, do it, because it really shortens the process and makes things a lot easier. And that's one of the biggest game changers for me has been the coaching.
Well, I coach people here in my company. I also coach agents outside of my company for free.
Nice.
It's something that I start doing it's like a year or so ago.
Okay.
So I meet with them on a quarterly basis, go over what's working for them, what's not working for them, how to look at things maybe this way versus that way.
Sure.
But yeah, and I would say from a standpoint of coaching, I think personal development is critical.
Right. Yeah.
And dealing with our past and our trauma of our past, and we all have it.
Yep.
Until you can look at that and deal with that head on,
right,
it's very difficult to get out of your own way.
Sure. Yeah, and having somebody help you through that process, it just makes it so much easier. And really with the coaching, I know that you did so much outside of your organization. So if there are maybe real estate agents listening to this that are outside of your company, will they be able to reach out to you and maybe get some guidance and coaching from you? Would you?
Yeah,
be open
absolutely.
To that?
They can call me or Facebook Messenger me.
Okay. Nice.
Either or. Doesn't matter.
So
send me an email.
If you are a real estate agent or somebody thinking about breaking into the business, if you'd like to connect with, the number one agent for ReMax in Pennsylvania, top 20 in the world, Maria's here. And that's the awesome part about Fuel is we're able to connect with people like Maria that are going to offer their time and their knowledge and experience to our listeners. So if you're out there and you are in the space or thinking about getting in the space, reach out to Maria. She'd be happy to help you out. And from there, I'm going to hit you with our rapid fire, Maria.
A rapid fire.
We're going to wrap up the show.
Bring it on.
No, it's a fun exercise. We just kind of wrap up the show, and our rapid fire just goes like this. You're stuck on an island, and you're not getting off the island, and we're going to throw our disclaimer out there. We know that you would take your friends, family, your immediate loved ones. So outside of those people, you can take one person, and it can be somebody that's fun, somebody that's serious, somebody that you would want to be stuck on an island with. Who are you taking? Outside of friends and family.
Who am I taking? That's a tough one. There would be a lot of people I'd want to take. It could be a famous person.
Absolutely. We get a lot of crazy, fun, famous answers.
What would I be doing on this island? I might want to take like J-Lo or Beyonce.
There we go.
Or Oprah.
Nice.
J-Lo and Beyonce, they could teach me to dance like that.
There you go. Nice.
Or maybe Shakira. I loved that halftime show, so
yeah,
I thought it was fabulous. The ladies rocked it.
They did rock it. So all right, so we're taking one of those ladies. That's awesome. It sounds like it'll be a fun time on the island then. The second question, we kind of touched on this. It sounds like there's a lot of books and things that you have read. If there's one book that you could share with our listeners that, hey, this changed the game for me, I'm sure you have many, but what one would you pick to take with you and share with our listeners?
Yeah, it's an oldie but goodie. I still enjoy reading it. The E-Myth.
The E-Myth.
Michael Gerber.
Yep.
It's a basic business book. I think it goes across all small businesses.
Right.
Not just real estate. A real estate related book.
It doesn't have to be real estate.
Okay, so I'll go with the E-Myth. I think the E-Myth is a good, solid book, and I've read it probably 10 times.
Nice. Okay.
I like also The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy.
Yeah, that comes
It's an
up a
easy
lot.
book. The Four Agreements is another great book. These are all from different they're all different books of themselves,
In and of
right?
themselves, yep.
But together they're pretty powerful.
Yeah, nice.
Right, the value, the compound effect, the 4 agreements, how those are really important as being part of who your being is, and in integrity, right? And then the E-Myth on how to really run a business and why you can't be the pie maker and the inventory collector or whatever, bill collector.
That's played a big part into how you set up your business.
Absolutely.
So E-Myth's a great book, and a couple others in there. So you got a little bit more than we bargained for. We got a couple books from Maria, so go check those out. Great books. And then the last one's just a fun question. One food, anything you want. Doesn't have to be healthy. It can be a snack. It can be good stuff. What's your
favorite
one food that you have to take?
My favorite food?
Yep.
I'd say lasagna.
Lasagna.
My
nice.
homemade baked lasagna. Meat, his sausage in it. It is the best.
Okay, now you got, it's about lunchtime. You're killing me here. All right. So,
it's definitely, if you can get me to make it for you, you're in.
Nice. So, all right. So we're taking lasagna. I love it. All right.
Mine's gluten-free, by the way, but.
Oh, okay. All right.
I make regular kind for everybody else.
Yeah, I'm going all in.
Always make 2.
Nice. So, all right. Awesome. Well, Maria, thank you so much for joining us today on Fuel. And for those that are listening, how can they connect with you? How can they find you? Where are you at? How can we connect up with Maria?
They can find me on Instagram. It's callimq.com.
Okay.
You can call me at the office. It's 215-607-3535.
Okay.
You can also reach me via email. It's mquattrone@liveloveathome.com. Or I'm on Facebook and LinkedIn. You can message me direct on Facebook. I usually respond that day.
Right. Yeah. So.
Usually pretty quick, but
awesome.
Sometimes I don't see the messages right away. But Facebook's a great way.
Okay, awesome. All right. Well, thanks so much again, and thank you everyone who's listening and watching this on YouTube. If you're listening to the podcast and you got something out of it, we ask that you share it on social and also give us a 5-star rating on iTunes. And on that note, we're out.
Thank you.